The cabin lights flickered. The captain's trembling voice crackled through the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. If there is any fighter pilot on board, please identify yourself immediately. A hush fell. Parents clutched children. Passengers glanced at one another in disbelief. And then, stirring from her sleep, a black woman in the corner seat slowly opened her eyes. It was an ordinary flight, cruising high above the clouds. Business travelers typed away on laptops. Families kept children entertained. And tired passengers drifted into restless dreams. Near the back, a woman in her mid-30s sat alone by the window. Her arms were folded, her head tilted against the seat, her breathing deep and steady. She looked peaceful, like someone who had carried heavy burdens and finally found a rare moment of rest. No one knew her name. No one cared. To the world, she was just another face among the passengers. But hidden beneath her silence was a past filled with battles, losses, and secrets too heavy to share. Without warning, the plane jolted violently. Cups toppled, trays rattled, screams pierced the air. Overhead compartments creaked as turbulence tossed the cabin like a toy. Remain seated. Flight attendants shouted, gripping seatbacks to steady themselves. But behind their professional smiles, fear flickered. This wasn't normal turbulence. The captain's voice came over the speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. We are experiencing unexpected conditions. His pause was too long, his tone too strained. Something far more serious was unfolding. Alarms shrieked. Red warnings pulsed on the radar screen. An unidentified aircraft had appeared, closing in at alarming speed. Sir, it's not responding to signals, the co-pilot stammered. It's flying military patterns. The captain's heart pounded. He had flown through storms, engine failures, near disasters, but this? A potential hostile aircraft near a civilian jet. They had no weapons, no defenses, only passengers to protect. His fingers hovered over the intercom. There was only one hope. The captain's voice filled the cabin again, but this time it cracked under pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, if there is any fighter pilot on board, please make yourself known. The words hung heavy in the air. Fighter pilot? On a commercial flight? Gasps and murmurs spread like wildfire. Children cried, mothers clutched hands, businessmen glanced nervously at each other. The black woman near the window did not stir. Her eyes remained closed, her breathing steady. A flight attendant rushed down the aisle, repeating the call. Her voice trembled, betraying her desperation. Please, if anyone here has fighter pilot experience, we need you in the cockpit. The woman in the next seat leaned over and gently touched the sleeper's shoulder. Miss, wake up. Did you hear? They're asking for a fighter pilot. The woman's eyes flickered open. For a moment, confusion clouded her gaze. But then, recognition. Memories long buried clawed their way back, dogfights in hostile skies. Radio calls breaking under static, brothers and sisters in arms who never made it home. Her jaw clenched. She had promised herself she would never go back to that life. But fate had other plans. Asterisk slowly, she rose from her seat. Heads turned, whispers rippled. Her voice was calm, but carried a weight that silenced the cabin. I was a fighter pilot. United States Air Force. A murmur swept through the rows. Some looked relieved, others doubtful. One man scoffed, "She's just saying that." Another muttered, "No, look at her. She means it." Flight attendants' eyes filled with tears of relief. "Please, come with me." The cockpit was chaos alarms blaring, radar flashing, co-pilot pale with fear. The captain turned, stunned at the sight of her. "You?" His disbelief was sharp, almost insulting, but her steady gaze silenced him. "Tell me what we're facing." The co-pilot gestured frantically to the screen. Unidentified craft, no response, could be hostile. She scanned the instruments with the precision of someone who had lived inside cockpits her whole life. Adjust altitude. Shift heading 30 degrees east. Don't fly straight, keep them second-guessing. The crew hesitated. The captain finally nodded. Do as she says. Her hands moved quickly, expertly. Her voice cut through panic like steel. Bank left. Climb 2000. Keep your speed steady. The plane responded smoothly, evading, twisting, slipping from the shadow of the intruder. The crew obeyed every order, their fear easing as her confidence took control. The captain stared in awe. You saved us! But she shook her head, her voice low. Not yet. The unidentified craft drew closer. Passengers peered through windows, some screaming, others praying. A child asked his mother, Are we going to fall? In the cockpit, she leaned forward, her eyes hard. They're testing us, waiting for a weakness. Don't give it to them. The aircraft hovered, circled, then without warning peeled away, vanishing into the clouds. The alarm silenced. The radar cleared. For the first time in minutes, the cabin exhaled. Back in the cabin, she returned quietly to her seat. Asterisk passengers clapped, tears streaming, some reaching out to touch her hand. A child asked timidly, Miss, were you really a pilot? She smiled faintly, her eyes wet with memories. Once. And today. I remembered why. She leaned back, closing her eyes again, not to escape, but to finally rest, knowing she had done what only she could do. The captain's final words echoed through the intercom. Tonight, we were saved by one of our own. A hero, sitting quietly among us, until the world needed her to rise.